Have you ever wondered how many misconceptions you hold about Black history? It's a question worth pondering. Throughout the annals of time, Black history has been shrouded in a fog of misconceptions, myths that have been passed down through generations like a game of broken telephone. But why does this matter? Well, history, as they say, is written by the victors. And when it comes to Black history, the narrative has often been skewed, painted with broad strokes that have done more to obscure than to enlighten. From the dawn of civilization to the present day, these misconceptions have perpetuated stereotypes that influence how we perceive the world. To truly appreciate history, we must peel back the layers of these misconceptions, revealing the truth beneath. It's a journey that demands courage and an open mind. So, let's dive into these layers of lies, starting from the most ancient ones. First on our list is a fallacy that dates back to ancient times: the portrayal of Black people as primitive beings. This myth, deeply rooted in history, has painted a picture of Black individuals as less developed, unsophisticated, or even uncivilized. But let's take a moment to examine the veracity of this claim. Africa, the cradle of humanity, has been home to some of the world's most advanced civilizations. These societies, far from being primitive, were pioneers in numerous fields. For instance, the ancient Egyptians, a civilization that emerged as early as 3000 BC, were experts in architecture, astronomy, and mathematics. Their ingenuity gave us the pyramids, a testament to their understanding of complex engineering principles. Moving eastward, we encounter the ancient Ethiopians, who established the Aksumite Empire. Known for their intricate stone obelisks, the Aksumites developed a written script, minted their own currency, and had a complex system of governance, all signs of a highly advanced society. Not to be forgotten, the Nubians of the Kushite Empire, the Carthaginians of North Africa, and the Zimbabweans who built the impressive stone structures of Great Zimbabwe, all contributed significantly to human civilization. So, when we talk about primitiveness, we need to reevaluate who we're referring to. The historical facts paint a different picture, one of innovation, sophistication, and significant cultural contributions. As you can see, the notion of primitiveness is far from the truth. Moving forward in time, we encounter another lie tied to the Middle Ages, the idea that Black people were always slaves. This misconception paints a narrow and inaccurate picture of a rich and diverse history. Let's unravel the truth. During the Middle Ages, not all Black people were enslaved. In fact, many led prosperous and influential lives, ruling over vast empires and kingdoms. Africa was home to many such kingdoms, like Mali and Songhai, which were centers of learning, trade, and wealth. These kingdoms were so affluent that Mansa Musa, the ruler of the Mali Empire in the 14th century, is considered one of the wealthiest individuals in all of history. Notable Black figures also emerged during this era. Figures like Queen Amina of Zazzau, a respected military strategist who expanded her kingdom's territory, and Sundiata Keita, founder of the Mali Empire, and an influential leader who implemented social and political reforms. These individuals were far from the image of subservience that the misconception tries to portray. In reality, the concept of racial slavery as we know it today did not fully solidify until the transatlantic slave trade in the late 15th century. Before then, slavery stretched across all races and was not exclusive to Black people. Clearly, the narrative of universal slavery is a gross distortion of history. It's essential to recognize that the Middle Ages was a time of growth and prosperity for many Black people, not a universally dark period of enslavement. As we approach the modern era, we face a particularly damaging lie: the claim that Black people are less intelligent. This harmful misconception found its roots in the pseudosciences of the 19th and 20th centuries, where biased researchers used flawed methodologies to paint a picture of Black people as intellectually inferior. This was, of course, a way to justify the social, economic, and political inequalities that were rampant at the time. Now let's debunk this myth with concrete scientific evidence. Across the globe, scientists and researchers agree that intelligence cannot be accurately measured by a single metric, and it certainly isn't determined by the color of one's skin. Intelligence is a complex interplay of genetic, environmental, and cultural factors, none of which are exclusive to any particular racial or ethnic group. Moreover, the notion that Black people are less intelligent is contradicted by the countless contributions and achievements of Black individuals in numerous fields. Let's consider a few examples. In literature, we have the likes of Toni Morrison, a Pulitzer and Nobel laureate, whose novels have touched on the very heart of the human experience. In science, there's Neil deGrasse Tyson, a renowned astrophysicist who's made the cosmos accessible to millions. In politics, we cannot forget Barack Obama, who shattered centuries-old racial barriers to become the 44th President of the United States. And these are just a few of the many black individuals who've left an indelible mark on our world. They, along with countless others, have demonstrated that intelligence is not a trait confined to any one race or ethnicity. It's important to remember that these stereotypes were constructed, not based on facts, but as a way to maintain oppressive societal structures, and they continue to cause harm as they feed into biases and perpetuate inequality. So the myth of inferior intelligence? Nothing but a baseless stereotype. Finally, let's confront a contemporary lie: the stereotype of black people as inherently criminal. This myth, like many others, is rooted in a history of systemic racism and prejudice. It was born in the post-slavery era, fueled by the deliberate criminalization of black people to maintain social and economic control. This harmful narrative has been perpetuated by media representation, often portraying black individuals more frequently as perpetrators of crime, despite statistical evidence to the contrary. It's crucial to understand that crime is not a racial issue, but a socio-economic one. Crime rates are more closely correlated with poverty and education levels than with race. Recent studies have also revealed racial bias in law enforcement, further inflating crime statistics for black communities. For instance, a comprehensive report from the National Research Council in the United States found that black individuals are disproportionately stopped, searched, arrested, and sentenced compared to their white counterparts. Moreover, a study conducted by the Bureau of Justice Statistics revealed that black people are overrepresented in arrests for nonviolent offenses, suggesting a systemic bias rather than a higher propensity for criminal behavior. This stereotype, like all stereotypes, reduces the complexity and diversity of black experiences to a single, distorted narrative. It's a tool of discrimination used to justify inequality and injustice. As we've shown, this stereotype is not only false, but also harmful and unjust. So, why does debunking these lies matter? Unraveling these myths is vital because they form the basis of harmful stereotypes and prejudices. Accurate historical representation promotes justice and equality, challenging the misconceptions that have distorted the perception of black people for centuries. From the primitive beings myth, through the concept of slavery, to intelligence and criminality myths, we've explored the truth. Only by confronting these lies can we hope to understand, respect, and honor the true richness of black history.